whose ribs have been battered. He can barely breathe himself. I don't know if he's going to be able to compete later on tonight. Of course,
welcome to the battlefield. You're watching Wrestling Reality Hub, your front row seat to WWE Mayhem. Subscribe and let's drop kick into the headlines. For the latest WWE family updates, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss out. Today, we've got a major story shaking up the wrestling world. WWE legend Tatanka has issued a bold warning to none other than Roman Reigns. From new challengers on the horizon to the possibility of a brand new Native American bloodline, this is a story fans can't stop talking about. The Bloodline's historic dominance. For the past 5 years, the Bloodline has been at the heart of WWE's most powerful era. Led by Roman Reigns, the Samoan dynasty ruled over the company like no other family before them. Reigns' historic run as WWE Universal Champion lasted over 1,000 days, redefining dominance in the modern wrestling age. His cousins, the Usos, brought tag team gold and charisma that elevated the faction's status to legendary heights. Even now, with Jey Uso holding his own as a singles competitor, the shadow of Roman's leadership remains strong. The Bloodline story became more than wrestling. It became about legacy, family, and pride. But as history shows, every empire faces a new generation ready to rise. And that challenge may be closer than anyone expected, thanks to a familiar name from WWE's proud past. Tatanka and his sons, Tatanka's passion and WWE legacy. Tatanka remains one of the most respected figures from WWE's golden years. Known for his Native American warrior spirit, he stood for heritage, honor, and pride inside the ring. Even years after stepping away from full-time competition, Tatanka continues to represent his people with strength and dignity. Recently at the 90s Wrestling Con, he sat down with veteran journalist Bill Apter to discuss the next chapter of his journey, his sons entering the world of professional wrestling. His excitement was infectious, but it wasn't just fatherly pride. Tatanka hinted that something bigger was brewing, a movement inspired by culture and legacy that could soon collide with WWE's most powerful family. His words carried confidence, and his message was crystal clear. The Native American warriors are preparing to step forward, not as echoes of the past, but as the new generation ready to shape WWE's future. Triple H spots the next big thing. What truly made waves was Tatanka's story about how his sons first caught WWE's attention. During a Saturday night's main event about 3 months ago, Triple H happened to see the two young men in action, and it only took a few moments for him to recognize their potential. According to Tatanka, the WWE Chief Content Officer didn't waste any time. Before he even walked away, Tatanka's phone began lighting up with calls from WWE executives eager to bring his sons into the Performance Center. That kind of urgency doesn't happen every day. It's a sign that WWE believes something special is unfolding. Triple H has an eye for talent and a reputation for building the next generation of stars. If he's moving this fast, it means the company sees Tatanka's sons not just as prospects, but as possible future main event players. Training under wrestling legends. Once inside WWE's Performance Center, Tatanka's sons made a strong first impression. Head coach Matt Bloom praised them as two highly promising athletes, noting their discipline, athleticism, and passion. Their training experience became even more remarkable when icons like Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker were present during their evaluations. Few newcomers get that kind of introduction. But that's not all. They've also been learning at the legendary Hart Family Dungeon in Canada, a place where wrestling legends were forged through grit and technical mastery. Mixing WWE's modern training methods with the old-school fundamentals of the dungeon gives these young athletes an edge most rookies never have. It's a blend of power and precision, showmanship and substance. Every session they complete brings them closer to the spotlight and potentially face-to-face with Roman Reigns and his family's empire. Tatanka's bold message to Roman Reigns. When Tatanka spoke about his son's journey, he didn't hold back. He looked straight into the camera and sent a clear message to the tribal chief himself. Roman, you've done tremendous things for your family and the Samoan dynasty, he said, but now it's time for a new energy to rise. A native bloodline is coming, representing the true tribal ancestors of this land. The statement turned heads across the wrestling community. It wasn't just a proud father promoting his kids. It was a challenge, a declaration that a new legacy was ready to stand alongside or even against the mighty Samoan Empire. Tatanka's words struck a powerful chord with fans who love heritage-driven storytelling. If this comes to life on WWE television, it could mark the beginning of one of the most meaningful rivalries in years, one rooted in history, identity, and pride. A new bloodline rising. The idea of a native bloodline facing the Samoan dynasty is more than just a fantasy booking. It's a story that writes itself. Wrestling has always thrived on generational rivalries and cultural pride. From the Hart Foundation to the Anoa'i family, WWE's history is built on family legacies. Now Tatanka's sons represent a new heritage stepping into that legacy. Their combination of athleticism, discipline, and authenticity gives them something fresh to offer. The wrestling world is buzzing about what could happen if Roman Reigns ever stood across the ring from these young warriors. Imagine the tension, the respect, and the power in that moment. For years, the bloodline has been untouchable. But every dynasty eventually faces its next great test. And the rise of the native bloodline could be the story that defines the next era of WWE. The present challenges for Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns may be the most dominant WWE star of the modern generation, but his road hasn't been without struggle. After a grueling battle with Bronson Reed at Crown Jewel and increasing pressure from within the family, Reigns finds himself at a crossroads. His cousin Jey Uso's recent frustrations and possible heel-turn rumors have already added fuel to the fire. Even with Reigns off television for a while, his influence still looms large. However, Tatanka's public warning introduces a brand new dynamic, an external threat that goes beyond family drama. If WWE decides to explore this feud, Reigns could face a storyline unlike any before, one that challenges not just his title reign, but his very identity as the tribal chief. Facing a native bloodline would test his leadership and legacy in ways that could redefine his career all over again. The future of WWE's tribal era. As WWE continues to evolve under Triple H's creative direction, stories built on pride, heritage, and generational strength resonate deeply with fans. The potential rise of Tatanka's sons represents not just a fresh rivalry, but the continuation of what makes wrestling so powerful: family, legacy, and emotion. Roman Reigns' reign as the tribal chief has been extraordinary, but the future belongs to those willing to step forward and challenge greatness. If the native bloodline becomes reality, WWE could witness a new era where culture and competition intertwine like never before. The seeds are planted, the names are buzzing, and the wrestling world is watching closely. Whether this rivalry unfolds tomorrow or a year from now, one thing is clear: the tribal chief has been warned, and a new generation is preparing to carve its place at the top of WWE's mountain.